Hello, all of you happy people. How are you doing today? Now, today we're going to be talking about the fact that Obama and Hillary Clinton created the enslavement of black Africans in Libya after overthrowing Gaddafi back in 2011. Now, on Thursday, October 20th, 2011, Gaddafi was murdered. And exactly how he was killed or who killed him is still up in the air. Some people say it was a shot to the head, shot to the stomach, and that he died a few days later on the spot. It's still very blurry. There's a horrible video out there. I'm sure if you find it, and I will not disrespect the kings of Africa, Gaddafi, in the way by posting a link to that. However, I will provide several links to multiple articles from back in 2011 and now in 2017. Now, basically, some people claim that Gaddafi, who called himself the king of the kings of Africa, he decided to no longer want to receive American money, knowing that it is a worthless tender. Now, he'd rather get paid in gold for the oil of his country. Apparently that's how this all started. That's what some people want us to believe. Now, President Barack Obama signed a secret order authorizing covert U.S. government support of rebel forces that were seeking to oust the Libyan leader Muammar Gaddafi. This is according to Reuters, and I'm gonna share this article as well. Now, basically, the United States, along with NATO members and some Arab states, they were conducting airstrikes on Libyan government military forces. And basically that helped the Libyan rebels on the ground forces that were taking on Gaddafi's military. And over time, because of Obama's presidential finding, the CIA was then sending covert military command, control, logistics, and other forms of aid without exactly sending them weapons and money, because that would violate some kind of United Nations mandate that was instilled onto Libya way back when. So I know that Ronald Reagan picked a fight with Gaddafi back in the 80s, but you know we need to come to terms with the fact that Gaddafi did bring water out from under the desert. I know he wasn't the best. I know he has done some bad things. I'm sure he, like any dictator, I'm sure he's had to crack a few eggs to make an omelet. So here's the thing, though. Not only did he bring water from out under the desert, he created farming. He made farming possible in the desert where it should be impossible, because this deep underground fresh water that they found, they were able to utilize that water, harness it, and make like an artificial river-like pipeline that gave water throughout the entire not the entire Middle East, but that side from Libya. And a lot of companies and corporations that didn't exist before started popping up everywhere to utilize this water. And guess what? When Gaddafi was in power, the Libyan government would pay for the Libyans' education. It was paid for. And if they wanted to buy a car, the government would cover 50% of it. I mean, when I started looking into this and I started finding out all these great accomplishments that he did, like he basically turned Libya in 30 years from an ugly village to a true city with near skyscraper buildings, not real skyscrapers, but still big buildings. You know, it's definitely something to be proud of. So basically, because he didn't want to do everything with the World Bank anymore, he wanted to be paid real gold instead of American dollars. Obama and Hillary Clinton did go ahead and provide aid to the rebel forces, the Islamic rebel forces, who now are enslaving black Africans and have been enslaving black Africans since they killed Gaddafi back in 2011. Now, lately, the news is catching on to it, making all kinds of articles that, the enslavement of the Africans. These are articles in 2017. I'll provide a link to one. However, an African news source called Quartz, or QZ.com. I'll post a link to this article as well. And I think the article is very well written, and they're talking about how this slavery has been happening for many years since Gaddafi was overthrown, and they're absolutely upset with the UN and the world pretending to care about it now when this has been happening for a very long time. So I don't know what's more racist, creating the enslavement of African people, or saying that this particular country is a shithole, especially after what Obama and Hillary did to this country. Now, I'm not here saying that I'm a diehard Gaddafi fan. I'm here saying that he didn't need to die. That we went there and destroyed his country, murdered him, and created slavery. Slavery! Today in 2018, it's happening now, and it's been happening the past few years since we murdered the guy. And guess what? Oh, and I forgot to mention, very important. Ever since then, in 2011, Gaddafi tried to make good with Obama and the United Nations by forfeiting. He shut down his nuclear weapons program. He shut it down in compliance with the United States. They were saying, hey man, we see you have a nuclear weapons program just like Iraq used to have. We don't want to go there and invade you guys. No, don't invade us, US. Look. I'll end the nuclear weapons program. It's ended. He ended it. And not only that, Gaddafi also was providing the United States with very good intelligence on the Islamic terrorists that we ended up supporting and helping them overthrow him. Okay? Like, this is set in the records. I will provide all the links, everything that I got this source from, alright? All I'm saying is, this is unacceptable. This is disgusting. This is horrible. And I know that Obama was trying to preserve our military, Marines, and soldiers out there, so that way we don't have to send our own men to go do the dirty work. Instead, we pay a bunch of Islamic rebels to do the work for us, and then launch airstrikes to help them out. I see what he was trying to do, but we did not need to kill Gaddafi. We did not need to destroy Libya. We did not need to create the enslavement of the African people there. And that is exactly what we did. We destroyed a country of people, of good people, a fairly modest country that was becoming better and better. And then we allowed the Islamic terrorist regime to take over there by force, violent force. And now, like I've been mentioning in the video, the enslavement of the African man exists today in 2018, thanks to Obama's regime plans, thanks to the Hillary Clinton's support of what happened there in Benghazi and everything there. Thank you for your time, everyone. I'll provide the links to everything, and it's going to be a lot of information, by the way. And don't be surprised if you find yourself crying at some point, because there's a point where you realize all the things that we did that they lied to us about and ended up in the murder of a man who was just trying to make his country better. Thank you for your time. Have a good night, everybody.